Guys, my name is Marnise Nicole. I'm an acrylic painter. I do digital art sometimes, and today I am wrapping up week 1 of Mermay. So I got a little behind in making the actual video content for Mermaid already. I did not pre-prep at all for Mermaid, so you never got a chance to see day 6 and day 7 because I didn't post them. So I figured I was going to wrap up the first week of Mermaid anyway. I figured I'd go ahead and first show you day 6 and 7's illustrations and their little time lapses. So you can see that going right beside me. The first painting digitally, I really wanted to work on painting a couple, which is something that I struggle with so much. And so painting the guy was very difficult for me, and I was ending up repainting certain elements. The girl originally was supposed to be looking down into his face and being all loving, and it was supposed to give major couple vibes, but because I was having such a hard time painting the figures in the kind of angles and proportions that I wanted, that tension ended up in the final piece. And so we have the couple staring now off into the distance, and they are at the bottom of the lake surrounded by like seaweeds and little plants and that sort of thing, and something is illuminating them from the distance, and they are looking at it very tensely. They seem tense, and it was me bleeding into my work. I was tense painting it because I couldn't figure it out. And so once I added the highlights and the shadows in this piece, definitely I started to love it, because for the majority of the piece I did not. I actually made a TikTok like what in the world, what am I doing?
Hey guys, so it's late and I'm diligently making day 6 of Mermaid, and I just wanted to share that I hate painting guys. Paint a love scene, they said. Do more guys, they said. Well, this is what I'm coming up with. Let me tell you, I am the first one who will admit that I struggle with proportions, and this is always the ugly stage. I'm sure it's going to turn out great, but right now, like, I hate him. I hate his arm. I hate everything about him. I'm not liking the background, and she seems very dismissive in her positioning, and I don't like that front arm. But it's going to get better, and I just have to know I'm going to get past this stage, although it's the middle of the night, so maybe I won't get past it tonight. Maybe I'll end up sleeping.
And so yeah, you can see that I was just not having a good time with it throughout the process, but it came together. That's one takeaway that I have with digital art and with painting in general, is that it'll go through an ugly stage. It really will. But you have to just trust kind of your process, and that you'll get there. Even if it takes putting it down and coming back to it, even if it takes like getting a little step back from it and then reevaluating it or reworking it. Sometimes if you end up cropping the piece, if you end up changing the color palettes, you'll end up liking it more, and you just have to give yourself the grace to get through the ugly stage, because there will be an ugly stage. And to many people, your ugly stage may look brilliant, but I know sometimes artists will struggle with like, it doesn't look right. I know I did with this piece. And so because I've been doing Mermaid every single day for a whole week, I didn't have time to fight it being in an ugly stage. I didn't have time to agonize about it being in an ugly stage. I didn't have time to worry about it. I just had to complete it. And so there was a sense of urgency in finishing the piece, not in any type of negative sense, but it allowed me to disregard what would usually put me into like a panic or like make me want to abandon the piece, because I was like, well, I have to post something today. I can't worry that it's in an ugly stage. I know it will be in an ugly stage. Like, part of my painting process is it going through the complete opposite of how I want it to look and then ending up somewhere nice. And so that was the lesson I learned from day 6 of Mermaid. And then moving into day 7, my twin sister, I love her to death. She is my critique partner. She is always the first one to see most of my pieces, and she's the one that helps me kind of fix things. She reminded me that I haven't painted any Murdery paintings this year for 2021. I have had a habit of creating murdery art, and she reminded me like, how about a murdery mermaid, because you have not been giving us the like axe murdering wives of your art style lately. So it's true, I haven't been, because I've been painting just different styles and playing around and different concepts over the last few months. And so I sat back and was like, you know, you're right, I've done pieces like this and done pieces like this, but a murdery mermaid, that vibe with me. And so I played around with a new brush, a texture brush from a Max set. I'll link it down below if I can remember where I got it from, but it's a set I purchased, and it is specifically a blending brush. And so most of the background all done with this brush, and I really liked it. It's not as finalized as I would have liked to make the painting in general because of the style of the brush. I prefer a little more texture with line work, so that's something if I painted it I would avoid, I think, if it became like a finalized piece. But overall I really liked it, and I love the concept. This mermaid is just down under a bridge, just like, oh, murder today, murder tomorrow. You can see kind of in the lake around her that someone is actively like reaching up, drowning, and then someone else is just kind of floating. I kind of made those as sketchy and kind of like non-detailed as possible, so they wouldn't be like actually physically like and like, you know, distasteful in any way, or like triggering at all, because there's an indication there, but it's not solidified at all. The focus is of course on her as the mermaid and the figure, and then the background is a little overwhelming in general because of how much background it was. This is a painting that I considered just cropping, so you only saw the top of the bridge and down, and you missed the forest scene, but I like it overall, so I'm keeping it this way. And so yeah, that was day 7, which I played around with a new brush to me, and it kind of like extended what I've been doing with playing around with different mediums lately. And yeah, so throughout all of Mermay, I have challenged myself to paint every single day for a week, which I've done. I've tried different mediums. I did acrylic inks, I did acrylic paint, I did digital art, and I've never been this productive. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for hearing my thoughts on Mermay in the first week of it. There will be a few more Mermay related content throughout scattered the month, but for now we're gonna move back to regular scheduled content. All right, thanks so much for watching. Bye.